which I'm doing right here. Frill's in my videos, damn it. I told him I was going to do this to some other people, which I haven't, because I'm not a dick, and that's a dick move, Frill. So, I pull my workers off so I can't lose too many. He's going to focus down my Nexus, or try to. I've pulled my Observer back. I'm pulling a lot of things in this game, apparently. I'm focusing down his Banshees. He's not going to be able to get that Nexus. He's just a few seconds away from it. Thank God I pushed out that Observer. I don't get that last Banshee. At this point, I've pushed out my Robotics Bay. Built my Robotics Bay. I'm not going to push anything for the rest of the game, I promise. I built my Robotics Bay. He's seen that, scouted it. Gonna build my first Colossus. Gee, this is tough. Because I expect him to go mostly an MMM type build. The Banshee is usually just a harass. He's got this scan down, he sees the natural, he knows he's behind on income, 44 to 28. Again, the mules are going to help, so he's throwing down this command center, hopefully take his natural. Again, he's quite fortified with his bunker, now with the missile turrets. He's pushed out medevacs for his army, and he still has a few Banshees here. Look at the production again. He's starting to push out siege tank and tanks. I'm working on my Colossus, getting another one, and also gonna chrono boost out the thermal lance, necessary upgrade. Pushing out pushing another thing out, the ground armor level 1. Already got my my attack level 1. Gonna do a little bit of poking here, try to be aggressive. In all these games I've been having success being aggressive. Don't expect this missile turret. It's gonna rip apart my Colossus. I'm gonna try to keep him towards the back, take down the missile turret best I can, go through this army. Doesn't quite have siege tank yet. He does, however, have cloaked Banshees, which I'm not able to see because my Observer, I think, got focused down by that turret, which is a danger. The turrets are just going to focus down the Colossus and the Observer. Those are the only things that it can attack. Warping in more units using this proxy, but it's no good against these Banshees. He should probably follow my Colossus and focus it down, or maybe my Immortal, but he chooses to uncloak and pull back with these Banshees. Finished off Siege Tech, so now he's going to be even more entrenched. He hasn't yet gotten this natural in a position. Looks like he's going to do that now. Maybe get a transfer going. I'm still fully saturated, 50 workers to his 25, so my income's way ahead. Throwing down another 2 warp gates. This will be 7. And another robotics, so going to be heavily invested into a ground army here. Stalkers, Colossus, and hopefully that works against his MMM with a few Banshees. I am building another Observer because I saw the cloaked Banshees, which are just going to rip apart my ground units if I don't have any sort of Observer to see the cloak. He creates this missile turret again, which is great counter to my Colossi and my Observers as they move in. He's a little late on this expansion. His probes aren't doing anything here. He's down to 200 minerals per minute to my 1300. He's got pretty full energy on this orbital command. He needs to throw down some mules at this expansion. He finally does it, finally gets going. I've killed these rocks here, and I'm now going to take my 3rd base. Again, he hasn't pushed out. I'm feeling relatively comfortable here. I've been aggressive. Been the aggressor, pushed at him. My minerals on both my natural and my main are protected from these Banshees again by these photon cannons. He's going to do a scan and see my army. Probably expected me to go more Colossi and Stalkers here. He's going to bunker up at the front. Didn't destroy these bunkers, which is interesting. Probably salvage those and move them to the front. Would have been a smart move. Again, he's sieged up here on the high ground. I have no sight. He's got a turret in case I try to get up here with my Observer, or a sight with my Colossi. And he's got these Banshees. Again, no Observer. Well, here's the Observer in the back. I need to try to protect that Observer, or else these Banshees are going to rip me apart. The Observer is going to go down again to that missile turret. 3-4 shots from that, and I have to retreat again from these Banshees, which are such a deterrent. Never really seen somebody use Banshees defensively like this. I guess without scan and just Observers, which are going to be taken down by these missile turrets, it's really powerful. against Protoss and this ground army that I have going. So I've got my third base up. Need to do a little bit of a transfer from my main. Looks like I'm going to do that right at the last second. Should have done it earlier. But I'm going to have 2 bases up and running with my 50 harvesters to his 27 still on his 2 bases. You'd like to see him take a 3rd base at this point, but he might be kind of back on his heels since I've been aggressive. So I'm going to have the economic advantage continuously, basically since I threw down my 2nd base. It's like I have almost full energy on 2 Nexus. I need to either be boosting out these warp gates, and I have 2 which I haven't created into warp gates yet, where I need to be boosting out these upgrades. Looks like I'm going to attack again. I'm going to lose the majority of my army. Let's go back and take a quick look at that. I'm going to reinforce with another observer as I get it, and try my hand at this again. Need to try to protect this observer though, because those banshees, just the 4 of them, he invested in pretty early. He saved the 1 that was harassing me. And they're just so good at defense. I'm going to attack here as he's distracted a little bit. Try to push through these bunkers. Blink up here, but really I just blink into his army here and into range of his tanks. He's going to quickly take down my entire army here, and I shouldn't have done this. I was a little too aggressive here. My whole army got lost. Should have pulled back at least with those Colossus, because now look at, he's in a great position army-wise. 2100 to my 1000. I'm quickly warping in units, but he needs to move out here and attack. He's got a nice size army with 4 tanks here. Got 2 Banshees, Medivacs. He just needs, probably should have thrown up another barracks or 2 here to support this MMM. But again, his income hasn't really allowed for it because he hasn't created a lot of workers. Still at 30 on 2 bases. He needs to get this 3rd base up and running. He could really be out macroing me at this point since I've lost a ton of units to continuous aggression. Like I've lost 4,000 more units than him. But I'm on these bases so I can afford it. He needs to move out at this point as I'm just reinforcing my defenses, warping in more stalkers. Finally got these warp gates, so I'm running off of, looks like 7 gates now, and 2 robotics facilities. Again, creating more Colossus. Really need to be using all of these, all of this Chrono Boost as my 3rd Nexus. Almost has full Chrono Boost now. I'm going to get out these star gates and see if I can do some damage to those Banshees. Again, he's not really invested in Banshees too much. I guess at this point I'm doing a little bit of overreaction to him. He's going to move up here with a drop. I see it. I'm going to move in with my army. He's got cloaked Banshees again. He's going to try to take down these workers. So not too many. I'm still at 50 workers. Actually, there it updates down to 43. Warping in more units, taking down this MMM army. Moving in with my observer here so I can take down the Banshees. I'm going to focus those down. Continuously reinforce my army here through my warp gates. I pushed out my Colossus here. They need to get up into the fight, take out these final few units. He might have been a little too invested in Medivacs here, not enough in his Marines and Marauders. I push out 1 Phoenix before my pylon goes down that was powering the warp gates, or the Stargates, and I'm able to recover pretty well here. Looks like I lost 7 Harvesters, killed the majority of his army, and I just lost a pylon here, which is going to slow down my Phoenix production a little bit, but not too bad. And being the aggressor here, I just want a big battle. I need to push out and do as much damage as I can here. Get some sight with my Colossus, need to push those back, taking down that missile turret, and now I can go to town on this refinery here. Again, he's just off of this base. Got no more, hardly all mined out here, refineried out here, early refineries in his main. So taking that down, really going to hurt him income-wise. Lost probably too many units here. I should have just done that.